is October, everyone is going pink because we want to check our breast, early detection and effective treatment. That's the theme for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and certainly it's easy to do. Just step out into a facility and ask for a doctor to screen you. After that, you can do your regular self-examination. Right, have you been trying?
Yes, I have. These few days, what I have been doing is to go around and advocating that the women around me get examined themselves before they come back to examine me. So it's been wonderful. I think the response is great.
Yes, and the good thing is a lot of free screening is going on. So look for a trusted facility. Go there and then get yourself screened, like how I'm going to do mine.
Okay. Yes, of course you have to do it. I mean, people think that when they talk about breast cancer, the young ones are not involved, like 20, 18, 19, 20. But all of them are involved. And that's what a lot of people do not know.
Test,
yes, they think that is for the elderly, those advanced in age. But hey, all of you out there, you stand the risk of getting that disease. So go out there. It's a month that you get the opportunity to do it. And this morning, we have a lot on the bill this morning to make your Friday, your weekend, a fantastic one. So we'll be starting with a lot of excitement, and I tell you, before the show ends at 9, you certainly will be smiling into the weekend. Good morning, Bright, Amma, and Grace, ready to take off the Friday morning, the first one for the month of October. And I'm sure there's still some money in the pocket because some were paid just last week. And so people can
you know how people plan ahead with the monies that they're supposed to receive at the end of the month.
So it got finished in the first week?
Yes,
trust me. No, I don't want
I can tell you.
If it comes in tranches, it helps.
Okay.
So that's because you've used tranche A for this thing, you know tranche B is coming for the other
even
part.
the tranches are going to come regularly. If you knew how it was going to be supplied.
But
when you don't know, it makes it difficult to plan.
I'm sure that this is the very first week of October. Packets are so full, and it promises to be an exciting weekend. In fact, if yours is empty, look for me after the show.
Please.
Just look for me after the show.
Me, I'm looking for you now.
No. All right. So wonderful Friday morning to you out there. Johnny will be joining us very soon. This morning, we're representing our regions. I am representing the Central region in my Kente, and that's how we do it in that part of the country.
Interestingly, I come from the whole of Ghana, so I'm also repping.
She's a mixture.
Yes.
A mixture of
every region you go, I'm there. Volta, I rep. Accra, I'm there. Because interestingly, you know how my grandparents had factions, if I'll call it. So they are not from one region. So I think
you're all over the country.
Yes, all over.
All right. So be with us throughout the morning, and we'll tell you what to do and what not to do into the weekend. We have a heart bay, and certainly we'll talk about what will make your heart pump this morning. And also, Kung Fu Kwade will be walking into our studios this morning. Don't forget that he is on the RTP Awards tomorrow. Yes, he is there. And so we'll be excited to hear what he will say. That guy is from Agoran Sabah in the Central region.
So we'll see what he will
Right, so the show has just taken off, and Grace Hamosari has all the news this morning for you to kickstart your weekend.
Good morning. Welcome to the news on Newday on TV3. Let's take a look at the headlines. Former Supreme Court Judge Professor V.C. R.S.C. Krap has been laid to rest. Some aggrieved workers of the Precious Minerals Mining Company, PMMC, are calling for the immediate dismissal of their Managing Director, Opari Hammond. The minority in Parliament has accused government of deceiving farmers by maintaining the producer price of cocoa. And DJ Prodigy and winner of Talented Kids Season 8, DJ Swish, has been inducted onto the Media General Wall of Fame. Let's go to our first story. Banking consultant Dr. Richmond Itwaini says the call by President Akufo-Addo for banks to reduce their lending rates will be met if macro indicators such as the policy rate and treasury bill rate further come down. This, he said, will give the banks the flexibility to also bring down their rates.
The president, who was speaking at the inauguration of the headquarters building of Standard Chartered Bank in Accra on Wednesday, lamented that the gap between declining inflation rates and the BOG's monetary policy rate on one hand and the lending rate being charged by commercial banks must be reduced. The president said the current average banking lending rate of 27.5% is not private sector friendly. He said the gap must be bridged, and he challenged banks to complement the efforts of the government to maintain fiscal discipline by bringing down lending rates.
As Mr. President's bank, it would be great if Standard Chartered would take the lead in rate reduction. I have said that I'm a man in a hurry. I'm in a hurry because the Ghanaian people are in a hurry to see an improvement in the quality of their lives. If we are ready to give impetus to the private sector to lead the socio-economic transformation of our country, lending rates must come down, and they must come down urgently.
However, banking expert Dr. Richmond Etuahene said for the lending rate to come down, the central bank must ensure it further brings down its policy rate as well as treasury bill rate.
The treasury bill rate, if it can come to 10, and the monetary policy rate can also come down further, it can come down to say 12 or 13, then there is that flexibility for the banks also to look at it. Nobody will give you a deposit less than 13%. So that will become the base rate for which banks will be able to attract deposit. And when you attract the deposit at 13%, then you need to add the cost, the margin. Then you have to price the product, including risk.
There has been a decline in inflation rate from 15.4% in 2016 to 9.9% as at the end of August 2018.
It's not just the variables like interest rate, but the existing debt. How do you price them? When the banks have cleaned the books, then it will give them a realistic pricing policy. I mean, governor said it's dropped to 22 point something, but it's still high. If you should drop to, I say, 15 or 10, then it means there is room for us to expand the credit.
Former Supreme Court Judge Professor Vincent Cyril Richard Arthur Charles Crabb, widely known as VC RAC Crabb, has been laid to rest in Accra. At his state funeral service in his honor, many eulogized the legal colossus and outstanding public servant for a life well lived.
Born on October 29, 1923 at Ashertown in Gold Coast, Accra, Justice VC RAC Crabb will be remembered for his enormous contribution in drafting the Constitution of Ghana, Gambia and Kenya. The man who dreamt of becoming a doctor, attempted economist, but only became a lawyer by choice and interest. He died at the age of 94 on Friday, September 7, after a short illness. The black and white attire worn by many is symbolic of the celebration of a life well lived. Eulogizing him in a tribute, President Akufo-Addo described him as a respected public servant, an eminent jurist. Former President Jerry John Rawlings, on his part, said he was a real gem, and persons like him, unfortunately, are currently in short supply. His children and sole surviving sister, who is 101 years old, said he was a disciplinarian and a great father figure they will miss forever.
Discipline was the order of the day. He set the standard and we had to follow. For example, we the children could not call the driver, cook, or gardener by their names only. He insisted we show respect and address them as Mr. So-and-so. They are employed by me and not by you, he always said.
Late VC RAC Crabb was co-chair of the Coalition of Domestic Election Observers, CODEO, until his death. A senior research fellow at the Center for Democratic Development, CDD, Dr. Kudwa Santi, who worked closely with him, said the wisdom and experience he brings to bear will be missed.
Always completely in control. He has so much knowledge and wisdom because of the years that he served. He's seen so many things. So anytime there were issues that came up, he was not overwhelmed by the issues. He recalled all of the instances and how things were resolved. So I think that was so valuable, and just being able to observe that over the years that we work with him, for me, it inspires us.
He worked with former Chief Justice of India, Justice P.N. Bhagwati, and Justice Eso of the Supreme Court of Nigeria, providing counsel on the setting up of the Constitutional Court in South Africa. He worked with the Fiajo Commission on the review of the 1992 Constitution of Ghana. He served as Ghana's first chairperson of the Electoral Commission.
So we wish the family well and may his soul rest in peace. Let's do some other stories now. The Trade Union Congress is asking the central bank to impose regulations that will compel banks to reduce their lending rates. The TUC fears if government fails to address the issue, more workers are likely to be laid off in the next few months. Secretary General of the TUC, Dr. Yalba, interacted with our labor correspondent, Daniel Epoku.
The Secretary General of the Trade Union Congress expressed concern about the hardship in the economy. He stressed that the recent depreciation of the cedi and other key macroeconomic indicators were affecting workers. A disturbing issue to him was the lack of jobs in the economy, creating unnecessary unemployment. Though government has rolled out the Nation Builders Corps program for jobs, the TUC says it will not address the unemployment rate. Dr. Yalban has asked government to indicate key policies to create jobs.
The government will have to provide some guarantees to people who government thinks are genuine, especially those companies creating huge amounts of jobs. Government can also come with some fiscal incentives. If you create 100 jobs within the year, you may not pay corporate tax and things like this. Our procurement policy, our investment policy, our tax policy, all policies must aim at creating jobs.
Already, the economy has resulted in layoffs which is affecting the social lives of Ghanaian workers. The TUC has attributed the problem to the high lending rate, which it says has affected the cost of doing business. The Secretary General implored government to deal with the lending rate or risk more workers being laid off.
This whole thing about trying to appeal to them to reduce rates will not happen. It will not happen. The reason is that the banks also complain that the risks are very high, and I agree with them. It is because of the large sector of the informal economy. If you are a bank operating in Ghana, you have to be extra careful. And that is why they are trying to increase the rate so that those who pay back actually pay back for those who don't pay back. It is the role of government to break it.
He again called on government to roll out policies that will set the economy on sound footing.
The Chinese culture, the Japanese culture of work, the German culture of work is what we need. So we need a kind of revolution around our attitudes, a kind of revolution around the way we regulate our banking sector, a kind of revolution around our productive sector, and get everybody to transform and change and buy into this whole Ghana Beyond Aid.
The TUC says it is hoping the new budget presentation will address the concerns of workers.
Some aggrieved workers of the precious mineral mining company PMMC are calling for the immediate dismissal of the managing director, Opare Hammond. The workers accused Opare Hammond of flouting procurement laws and illegally increasing the sitting allowances of board directors to the detriment of the country.
The workers allegedly accused their managing director, Opare Hammond, for unfair labor practices. They criticized him for flouting procurement and selecting some workers for promotion. They again cited him for ignoring decent work ethics, which has affected the health of some workers since 2017. The local secretary of the Ghana Mine Workers Union, Agnes Aite, chastised the MD for assaulting some workers. She has since called on the president, Nana Akufo-Addo, to dismiss him.
We want the man to go because even if he stays, he's going to victimize, knowing who he is. When he slapped the auditor, and he's been home like 20 months now, when he slapped him, thinking that he will continue working, not long after, he made him go home. So who knows what is going to happen to we those who have sacrificed to be here to let the president hear our cry. I'm not sure the president should do that. He must let him go.
The mother union of the workers, the Ghana Mine Workers Union, has indicated plans to convene a meeting with the managing director. Its General Secretary, Prince William Ankra, spoke about the need to maintain a healthy working environment to enable the business to thrive.
So we don't have any bias. What's in the matter, it's only appropriate and fair that will get him to really answer those questions, those issues that have been raised. Some are infraction that are factual, but again, it's all alleged, and you got to get his part of it.
He said he would use legal means to get their issues resolved.
I mean, we live in a nation that we need to ensure that, we don't do things without recourse to law. So we are very careful that we don't take things for granted. We regret that what has happened, but obviously it's only when things get to that stage, members of the union become fed up and they can resort to anything of that nature.
Vice President of TUC, Philomena Abba Simpson, pledged the strong commitment of the TUC to address the grievances of the workers.
We as TUC, we are in full support of what he's doing, so we'll just wait and see the outcomes of the meetings with the MD before we see the next line of action.
The union has since petitioned the Sector Minister of Employment and Labour Relations for redress.
Now, DJ Prodigy and winner of Talented Kids Season 8, DJ Switch, has been inducted onto the Media General Wall of Fame. The gesture is in recognition of the young achievers' exceptional skills, determination to succeed, and for inspiring a new generation of young Africans.
Born Erica Tando, DJ Switch rose above competition to win Season 8 of TV3's flagship kids reality show. KCV. I like this. DJ Switch has since seized every opportunity to shine. Her exceptional skill, attitude, and flair has earned DJ Switch many admirers. The Media General Group deems DJ Switch's exploits worthy of being immortalized on its Wall of Fame.
The Wall of Fame.
Congratulations.
The young achiever was all smiles as a special portrait and citation done in her honor was unveiled.
DJ Switch! And this time around I'm gonna see the door. See your happiness.
Overjoyed, DJ Switch expressed gratitude for the gesture.
I'm short of words. I don't even know what to say because this is a Wall of Fame and me happening to be the first person to be on the Wall of Fame. I want to tell all the kids out there that they shouldn't keep their talent. I also want to tell the parents out there that they should try and push the talents of their awards.
She's, like we said, a young global icon. She's someone who has really made TV3 very proud. Coming out as winner for last year's Talented Kids show, we expected great things from her, but I think the heights that she's taken us as a network, she's taken Ghanaians, she's given hope to very young children, and that's what makes us proud because she's setting the way for a new generation of children to know that whatever potential they have, they can achieve it.
DJ Switch's mom described the incident as a proud and golden moment.
TV3 Media General, you are awesome. All the best. God bless you.
DJ Switch! And this time around I'm gonna see the door. See your happiness.
Now, rapper and CEO of Mad Time Entertainment, Kwakese, has asked Shatta Wale to stop carrying himself as a dancehall artist. According to the controversial rapper, songs done by Shatta Wale over the past few years cannot be termed as dancehall, explaining the songs lack the substance required in a dancehall genre. In a live video, he stated, "What you people have to do is to find a name for the songs people have been producing all these years, because when they are mentioning names of dancehall artists in Ghana, you people are not parts. Maybe you should call your songs Pukpakpa or Kpalogo. When you're doing Kpalogo, you say you're doing dancehall."
Don't talk about dancehall when you are doing Palogo music. Claim you get money. Do a record label, sign yourself. If me, I be you guys, I go bring a name. I go name my music something else, maybe Pumpa. But don't talk about dancehall when you are doing Palogo music. Stonebwoy is doing big things with the world. If you claim you be dancehall artist and you are doing Pumpa,
That's it by way of news on New Day. My name is Grace Hamwasari. We're back with more after this break. Don't go away.
That is done then. Let's say thank you to Vodafone and Newday for making sure that New Day is on your screens every single day. And happy birthday to you, Mabel Aku Banase, our own friend in the media there. Let's check out the front pages. Daily Graphic starts us off. It says more traffic lights down in Accra. Why? We'll explore further. Human Trafficking Ambassador and owner Joycelyn Tete says so. And biggest plane to Ghana, good for country's image. Captain Kwenu, the Berrima Bad there, who flew the big Airbus A380 down, and UMB GES to promote education in 6 schools. John Ewa is boss as UMB. His photo comes along with the story. The Daily Guide says judges' discretionary powers worry Nana. Okay, and Justice VCRAC Crab goes home. Bleobi VCRAC Crab went home yesterday. And Mofa blasts minority over Cocoa Prize. Plus, the banner headline, blows in NDC over 2016 election results. Man stones wife to death. And the NDC photo, the story comes with Samuel Fusompo, director of elections, President John Mahama, who was a candidate then at the time, and Edward Omani Boama, who was spokesperson for President Mahama. He was actually the Minister for Communications as well. The Ghanaian Times says 2018-2019 Cocoa Producer Prize politics. Government fumes at minority. Government building knowledge-based economy, according to the Vice President, and restore confidence in the banking sector. AGI urges the Bank of Ghana, and Justice Crab laid to rest at 95. The Daily Statesman, what is Amidu doing to help Ghana fight corruption? That's a question. It's on page 10. You can grab a copy and read. Government scores high marks on anti-corruption fight. And government maintained Cocoa Prize to improve farmers' welfare. Agric Ministry. But he has a photo of the Agric Minister. He's not smiling. He has a very stern look on his face. I wonder how, if the welfare of the farmers have been improved, why isn't he smiling in this photo? Well, maybe I'm talking too much. The final newspaper, Cocoa Prize is fair deal. Deputy Minister sets record straight. Pregnant woman arrested for inserting object into the VJJ of an 8-year-old. And St. Teresa's Hospital at Nandom facing challenges. Plus, Ghana pays tribute to one of her greatest sons, Justice Vincent Cyril Richard Arthur Charles Crab. Laid to rest yesterday, 95 years old he was. The Independent newspaper, ignore rumors. Your contributions are safe, according to the Social Security and National Insurance Trust. And Ghana Health Service supervises more abortion cases in 2017. Plus, allowances of national service personnel delays. What's holding the money? Nasikano Wahe. The BNFT, Awake Purified Water picks up Product of the Year award. And they supported our Think Hard Foundation, you know, the walk. So
That's a good initiative there. Per capita GDP increases to $2,035 after rebasing, but has little effect on poverty. An industry warns of job losses over tax stamp as GRA moves into action to crack the whip. Invest in Africa sets vision to create 100,000 jobs in 4 years as it celebrates 4-year anniversary. The Gold Street Business said financial inclusion and development strategy currently before cabinet, and 62 girls to receive ICT training through the MOC ATC collaboration, and create values for shareholders. That's the CIMG boss to all marketers. And the big one on the front page, asset declaration difficult and expensive to monitor, says Auditor General Daniel Domelovo. Give us time to comply with tax stamp. AGI appeals to GRA and bottom and affordable housing ready, according to the Minister for Housing there. Give us more time to comply.
Johnny, let's talk about the
AGI.
Let's talk about the story on the front page of the Independent, where SNIT is suggesting that
the contributions are safe.
You see, they could be safe, but as far as some information we have, it is worrying. You see, you register onto the SNIT system. I, as the employee, I have no responsibility apart from asking my employer to pay to SNIT what is due me.
Absolutely.
It ends there. In fact, how many employees can go and knock at the door of the employer and say, hey, have you paid my SNIT? You can only ask. But what about if you're told you have? Now, in some cases, and it is the reason why I'm saying that, in some cases, you've gone to SNIT, and for a year and sometimes 2 years, your SNIT deductions have not been paid. And yet, SNIT does not even come to you to say that, hey, you are a contributor, your SNIT deductions have not been paid for this number of years or months. So, hey, wake your employer up. It doesn't happen. And yet, we are being told that our deductions are safe. It can be safe. I've seen situations where some people have gone on retirement, they go there and they are told that your employer did not pay for this number of months, and so you don't qualify because what you need to have isn't there. Okay, so in as much as people have, it happens.
See, that's the unfortunate issue. You remember not too long ago I raised this concern because I remember, in fairness, I received a message from SNIT saying that there was something happening to my account because it didn't seem to tally. And the interesting thing is when I look at my payslip, it shows that the deductions have been made. However, SNIT is not receiving it. And why am I supposed to be the one to collaborate between my employer and SNIT? Certainly, there's a gray area there, and I feel that's where SNIT, is sitting like saying that it's our responsibility to find out where your money is going. But it's not. Technically, if you deduct and it shows that it's deducted, I expect it to be there. I don't care how that translates, but it's SNIT's responsibility to make sure that my contribution, because they have my name, they have my details. So if you've seen that there's a deduction on my payslip, why are you not seeing it? Then you call my employer to ask these questions. You don't call me to ask me how, because what happened is I have to now go and print all my slips, and then when I got there, I realized that my name was in their system, but my money was not going into a particular account because they had deleted one name of mine. So instead of Nana Majiman, they had Nana Jiman, and that didn't tally for them. So opening the Nanama with my number, she saw that I had been getting something, but it was going into a different account. So she now had to pull, and for me, it was very baffling because I was wondering. So if I never came, thank you. And why should I? Why should I be the one to follow up?
I've had a chance. I live closer to the ADB bank at Kaneshi Dam, and I've had a chance to see a lot of old people come to the bank. They have retired. Maybe they've come from a sinful Fosu. They've come to join their children here. They check their slip. They tell them what they are going to earn, and they sit down and they start weeping. And some of them have worked for 37 years of their lives, and that's all they do. They just weep, because subsequently he knows that what he's coming to take every month is not worth it. But meanwhile, that person had contributed a lot to the country. So they like Senior Bright said, look, the era where we have SNIT expecting us, the employees, to be the ones liaising and trying to fix the problem. That's why we pay people to handle it.
It is a crime not to pay.
So it is not let's look at SNIT as one of these private insurance companies who chase people around to get you to sign on to policies. If SNIT were doing same, and I think SNIT is becoming a bit more lax because they have regular contributions that they don't have to chase people for.
Exactly.
And that because it is criminal if you don't pay. So the employers are forced to pay, but whether you get the benefit of the payment is another question altogether. And I thought that with the advent of all these softwares and SNIT digitizing its front and everything, we'll be happy. We are not happy. Me, I'm not happy.
Their drive is not. I really think they are relaxing because they say they're doing something, but we don't seem to see it. It's not being translated to the everyday man, and they need to wake up because SNIT is a big company. They've got so many employers, and I think they should employees, and they should be to task.
SNIT
they shouldn't use our money if they are not collecting it.
Of talking, when you're doing social security, national insurance trust, you talk.
Of course,
because you have the larger chunk of the people's contribution and their future in your hands. You talk. You should have, even Ghana Water Company has water on Sunrise on 3FM. So why can't SNIT have, what do you call it, a platform that is regular that people can, you know, phone in or have their concerns, whatever it is. I'm not asking you to go and pay money to media. You could even have, you know, a small slot and put on social media and flow. But you're not talking.
What is wrong if they pay money to them? I mean, SNIT has billboards.
Exactly, and then you pay money to put up.
Maybe they'll tell you they don't have a budget for it. I'm saying that whatever it is, try and engage the public. SNIT doesn't engage the public until this press release came out that their contributions are not safe. Would SNIT have spoken?
No.
Well,
SNIT needs to engage the public.
Let's hope.
I think until they do that, they shouldn't be using the money to put up infrastructure.
Talking about
traffic lights. Are we back to it? Like when I saw this caption, more traffic lights down. I think it's not news for us, and it's not supposed to do anything to you because it's the norm now. You get to a stand, the traffic lights won't work. Right now, it's the normal thing. So when they're even working, you're surprised. It's just like how Nigerians will say when they have lights, it's a shock.
Yeah, it's a shock.
That's the thing. I mean, right now it doesn't work. So you use your brains to direct yourself. If you get there and it's there, you say, "Oh, today to read." But it's unfortunate.
It is scary.
It's scary.
When the lights are not working and you're trying.
There's so much traffic. There's so much confusion. You spend more time on the roads, and I'm wondering why we don't take it serious. And for most people, the thing is, well, we haven't had the traffic lights working for so long. We're used to even crossing the roads without them. So when they're even in place, people, you know, disrespect it as it may be. Because I've seen it on the La Paz road. You will see the traffic light is green.
It's terrible.
The cars are coming at top speed, and people are just crossing vehemently. And I'm like, are we serious as a country? Or we're just taking things for granted?
I think on Wednesday night, I went to Kaswa, and somebody was knocked down because the traffic light had turned green, and he was supposed to wait, and he wanted to. And somebody just, and then so the guy, he drove off. He didn't stop. He just drove off. Now there have been instances where people have knocked down traffic lights or broken them, and they are even willing to pay for it all. And then you start roaming. You go to highways, but they tell you, "Oh, we don't deal with it." Then you go to ECG and say, "Oh, we don't know anything about it." So we don't even know who handles the traffic light to start with, and yet we find them along the road. So if you have the traffic lights go off, who do you call? Who do you call?
I have no idea.
And worst case scenario is where you have sometimes, you know, a whole region have the traffic lights jammed, and it's just there. It jams for like 2-3 days. It's just amber flashing. Hot afternoon, and it's okay, and we are all watching.
Okay,
and we don't see it as a national security issue.
The Herald says that training nurses' allowances in 6 months arrears.
After last year's fanfare, angry students boycotting health facilities.
Well, but is it a regular thing? Are they? We know some allowances are routinely paid 3-4 months. For instance, the national service, we know some 2 months or so for some particular areas. But 6 months, how is it impacting on what they do? Those are the key things we need to look at. If it is affecting their training, then someone will need to get up and do what is right.
Well,
I don't want to believe that the money is in there.
What was the promise and what is being delivered? That's how, because
you see,
if you make a promise,
it takes processes. So maybe
yes, but what was the promise? what is being delivered. That's what you, if your father says, well, when I come back from town, I'll give you A, B, C, and D, and he comes back and he has nothing, he must explain to you that, when I went today, my allowance was not ready, so I couldn't get it, or the shop was closed, or whatever it is, something must be told to someone. But if everybody is silent about it, and we know that it was a major issue, then we would have a problem to deal with.
All right.
But then finally, we're talking about the job losses. Somebody's warning about job losses.
AGI.
The tax stamp.
Yeah, with the tax stamp.
I don't know why AGI is complaining about this now, because I know that in fairness, the Ghana Revenue Authority gave a very, very long period of time. That's it. Yesterday I went to the West Hills Mall. I saw a lot of products in there without a tax stamp. I went in there. I think, was it a ShopRite or something? I went in there. A lot of products without a tax stamp. And what we bought had tax stamp because water and some juice. But most of the products there didn't have tax stamp. And I'm wondering why a big enterprise like that, you know, would have something like that. So the AGI should not complain.
Yes, but if you read the story, see, Johnny, AGI is suggesting that the machines for the tax stamps have been imported. Some of them are going through test. So they are asking GRA that instead of stopping our product from getting onto the market because they don't have the stamps, you have seen the machine sitting there and the test is being run. It's a test run. So allow us to go on, at least give us some time. But to stop the product from getting onto the market, because what GR is doing, it has actually put tax forces at the various
so they wipe the goods
they
out,
stop the goods,
and then they will penalize
so that's what AGI is
saying. But then you see, anyway, I think that the AGI itself must also see whether Babina, you know, they must see to the advancement of the country. They were giving a lot of time. When were the machines imported? Shouldn't they have been tested by now? Shouldn't have been done?
Lies on GRA. GRA should have done that.
Yes,
to make sure
but I'm sure that GRA, that's why GRA is also moving to say, well, we gave you a lot of time. Let's
anyway, guys, it's time for us to rant, and we're talking about corruption.
Need to be talking. I mean, you don't have to stop them from. I mean, this is a system, so you don't stop a system at the point.
Let's go out there and rant. We're talking about corruption perception, and about 82% of Ghanaians still think that corruption is high in Ghana. Close to, 16 months of the MPP's reign, and we're saying with a report that came from Itogu, is saying that indeed corruption is still high. Let's find out what you think. Is this a reality?
Only 82%.
This is what it feels like.
A very good morning and welcome to Daily Rant here on Newday. We are live on DSTV channel 279. My name is Josh Quinn, and this morning we are talking about the Metugu project. It's a Pence Plus Byte report on the corruption perception in the country. And according to the report, about 82% of respondents sampled from 4 regions perceive Ghanaians to be corrupt. And also the report reveals that corruption perception remains high within the first 16 months of the MPP administration. Just so you know, Ghana loses close to 13 billion cedis to corruption. And so the question is, how well can we tackle corruption in entirety? This is Daily Rant. Let's keep talking.
Katasisheni die se kase we ne buy na kosoro ana we ne buy na kofoma yenia e ka ho bi because mpenifo no e na mo start katasihye asana ye nkora na yesu afi o mo nchen e na bisa ho se ansa na kwara beye ne ho katasihye no na openin bi na wa de o hye na se e na penin so na ma na sa wodan se no so ye katasihye so that's ye sana mi hu no so I say MVP breso na maybe katasihye no e kosoro a because MPP no mo position for 8 years as an power.
Sana who say amaba into a comedy omuntu on be there.
Come. How the course you come. Because the ministers were appointing ya no. So I say obi a pray maybe okonya sika be campaign. Obi a so pray maybe a o de holding tibeto. Maybe a sika o pray to na 4 years no. Or the be or the ma party members. So I say nti yes, why almost more say no, almost more press before party be copper one because I two be more pen. I'm prepare as I'm call off. So I say, almost two no come prepare. Nankanye and there corruption. Abe. So I say, almost more prepare for 2020. In 2020 no, bisa say, then I'm prepare. I'm prepare. I'm do risk about 2020 no whether gain or lose. omo lusua scan da homo omo lusua ende na mu ni no be.
So only evidence to it is all kan keke.
Oh me evidence. But one kasa say we o man papa na say odwen o man no a hu say de ekoni
e kwaso pa but aban bi bae ama omo MPP fo no ka say omo bank sa na man ko mo behwe na eso aye den atete ba me asisi an me hwema me hu say obi anu obetimi ama bibi so atete ama ye ntikata so de no de akwosoro pa esi apo de eba no kra sin ne afese no abesinko
Ghana no ya de ya manaka ye ho because kono why na dwen say wo bua na wotuma obesisu a on wie na on kotena fi a ne ho be kire no ntanye kwan bi obefa so a obenya bibi ada na chi a se bi da chi efini so a ne ho beto no enno nya ye mu a ye gina wiem de o mo ndwen ye ho enti di kata hyehyɛ no ya de wo pa e wo baabi pie na wo pa ko baabi sɛ wo koye wa de ye be ka cho sɛ receipt no koda ko tua ye sɛ wo wi ani pa na de receipt no be ma no be fra wo ncha ka cho sɛ wan pa bibia ma wo nsanya nka ye te wo sɛ okopɛ sika foforo wo baabi e de bre na ansa na che sɛ wo ye wo budget 100 a akoye be 200 omo ndwen ye ho obi a pɛ de adache obedi
me de me hu ni say politics na me hu ni say ya ban before ta na ban bi abesen konfort eye me ma me ya metiwe se me nim de ewa akira eye me fault because nipa no afa me ato kan che me say George me fa wadwuma me nju bibi me hu ni so ebia na adekro no nim ye on fa ma wonyo o de be ma obi a onnim ye na waye na wagi na me so wagi ni bribi nti o de be ma no hwe so oba akopa adwuma eno so ya ban asem this a boss ka say 77 me no da do no tina ka say obefa oba no ne nko dance one no akwa da da bi into we dey anya politics asem eye nipa no yesu ese ye check ye ho ne hwe ya brabo hwe se reposting na no me nua bi frame me didi na tam say wokra wakosumi say bi me school ni animo ba sa de wo me nye me first come obi ye do ko omo mte class omo nya nipa
so Accra na what anti say almost say onko service we bia hwehwe bia obeka se de bi onko
kanche mini kapra obekọ grase
wanya ayi na okọ no ono anga se de sika na hye pepem nte so onim se baby okọ no eye danya a ye beje nti obi aso tie ye dua omo adua ye den edie
onim se ye nya ye se o police ye corrupt ye ko ba ye so ye kan ho ti se bia onim se boss 6 a main su DV plate na wutwi onim se obema police bi
wa make sure he and then 3 days ena metie radio bi na omo ka about Puyanka say police for ya. So I say, guy ne buy then okay. I say before Obeba road so your money says. Bisa say who give the says?
Hey, Kwabu your question. Media me nti do. Ba me hu ni say eye nipa no. Me hu ni say eye nipa no Yesu. Me say samakwa school. Me say me ba nyi me ba swa. Na me mo mpa se me ba na ja to onyi se wakonu school onimade ukopa adwuma se for discussion me ma me fa peso up unfa na ma ne ntina fe oton ade obedidi because ye nipa no na de bribe no de ko aban somo se tua bribe so what it say nipa na ye check ya ho me bribe me tua bi da na me tua so da
taxi driver bi ma fa dropping ye do a police ni ye we ya police ni mbisa was konye hwe na ono anka say kwesi na me se we bisa oska mu na maye ma akom ho no nipa no ogina ho no oba check ya do mbisa oska wanka so wodi kan wo yi sika kwosho why ebone
baby and the papers in here papa bia enti before be busa
police ni ka say wo ni mama mbra ne dada wa police ni no asimo ka say na wo ni mama mbra na de na wo ye ampa so nipa no yi sika na ode share ni se ma na omuvu ka na maye ko ye enti ya ade e wo ho wa hu aka
Ghana ha lose close to 13 billion cedis through corruption. But Osha Abaya Otesu, Ocean said your best fighting Catasiciano. Oh, yeah, there.
Catasiciano, dear, because a bambi and over to me to Catasia, I say, because it's from the hunter to the stigma. So I say, Mimi to a Jumami, as I say, Obasi Catacobi, me mount, 5 city account one, make jet all my amount. So I say, from the hunter to the stigma, inside the end to me,
Kwabi, George, ya won bibia ebeye ebe so me ton ade obi wo kwata ade a o hwe nipa me wo beta ade o mo a ayakola no ye pen oba obetwen wo beto akola me serve me nche ti se we ye pen wo pentam uni time ma obetimi aye wo bibi grade ben
passport me ko passport me no online me ko online ko si se why me ko online ko si se
say e mo date beje
e ma me date me ko ye postpone no later me ko tu answer na de ma me So me could me try answer that mama.
So I quiet me tell me nyebi na me nkwa so bi nyimi sika ni.
Oh, to guy.
Me to kwa me kwa takwa. Me kwa takwa is me kwa passport. Me kwa sakra kanesh me nya ka so passport me de kwa na ma mo bi adi me sika di. Me ma won nyimi sika ni.
Passport obi adi sika ni da.
Mo wana adi me sika di. Me wana.
Only say amoye.
Adwene de kwa so pa se obi obeka se sa kata ahyehyɛ no mpanimfo ni nim ho bia nipa no ɔyɛ because ya ade ɛwɔ hɔ tetete obi wɔ kura panin no ɔhwɛ adwuma no so no aka kyerɛ hwɛ yɛ ha de enya afo wɔ adwuma ma master ɔmo ba agye ɔmo ba agye ɔmo nti obi kura timi pon adwuma no wɔ bisa ne sɛ o na nɛ kɔ ne sɛ wɔ bisa ne secretary na sɛ ne bibi sɛ ɛnɛ ɛkɔ ne sɛ kyɛlɛ ndɛ de ha anyɛ do ɛyɛ ade ɛkɔ so
ɛnya ade be fi Ghana ndɛ efi ɔkyena because ya ya manaka ho Yaya manaka asofu ikra ostati ya
woni osofo ne wote se wo kwa asole na wo collection ne we oniamam nyaduru we na de ye bo afore ye nyi 50 Ghana omo soro no we se de esi osofo ne bo mpa ye ma won one cedi mba mo mpa e bonko 50 we awu aka kwan si bia fa betum ne de ne odura nyame nka ho saa nya de obenya adaje agina ho ahye da se obo 50 Ghana fo mpa ni bia ma nyame nka ho de ne nsa kan wapempem kotena ase nti wa so da mu nyinala nti nya de obi a obeba so bia betimi aka se me ba so ne mebetwa ade we mu
na je na ye connection na mo ye se ye ne we na wo hu dia na je na hyehyɛ wo kotwa mu ahe anya de be ye adwuma nti no wutu wa na ye Ghana nya na wafa ho adwene hu dia be na ye kase se ebe jai dia enjai da
enya ade a yenya exubetwa se na ye boa ama aban ama etu etwa
me ma me tie se me fam sika nkomo se George na di na fam adwuma me nya e ka me kwa keta hye nkomo nya bi enje me se me fam ma
ye mom na wo se ye opani bi ye obi na report ni kra ngosi aga o ma so mu nyimo mo ho wo ko report ya me ban news akosi wo hu baby kra be fa akoye because one you be by because o hia de serious nti o say o kakra o tua na ka be ya say obi a me minister me ko pay adwuma minister me ko pay adwuma minister me ko pay adwuma dis me san ko pesika e be shame look mansa enfa so be ne
okay so say there is one to me jani say won yankasa ya wo akwara no wankasa wo bombo wa wo no wo be ka say pa fa bibi mamia pa memfa pa fa mamia me ma to ofie pa be fa akwana kata sese e woni trimu
it's a certificate
collaboration because akasa wa akwana kasa so for bibia ofa o de to ofie be da akwana asara wa.
The public frowns on corruption, and for them, it's a deep-rooted thing, and most successive governments have failed to tackle it head-on, and they think, concerted approach would tackle this in entirety. Let's know what you should think. Log on to our social media platforms. On Facebook, it's News on TV3, and on Twitter, it's a News TV3. We came to you from Flagstaff House here at Accra. Thanks for watching. Enjoy your weekend.
Back, and I'm sure you've seen the pages of the newspapers. All the stories are there, from the cocoa price issue to the trainee nurses allowance to the issue of traffic lights in Accra, and also the fair prices for cocoa. I told you earlier, and the Daily Guide has a story from the NDC and says blows in NDC over 2016 elections, and VCRAC crab laid to rest. These are some other stories on the pages of the newspapers I have here. My guest this morning, government spokesperson on infrastructure, Richard Asante-Yeboah, is with me here this morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hope you're doing great. Thanks for your time with us. And then the Greater Accra Secretary of the NDC, a former MP for Ablikma Central, Honorable Theophilus Atita, is also here. Good morning. Hope you're doing great. Thanks for. Thank you. Yes.
Traditional club.
I'm representing Central Region this morning.
Okay, that's good.
Grateful for your time with us.
Very refreshing morning. I really like what you are.
Thank you. Now let's start with the cocoa issue. The finder puts it, cocoa price is fair deal. Deputy Minister set record straight. The Times says that government fumes at minority over the 2018-19 cocoa producer price politics. It's a story that I'm sure you know, but The finder says the Deputy Minister for Food and Agriculture in charge of perennial crops and cocoa affairs, Kennedy Osei Nyakon, has strongly debunked the position of the NDC that the government is cheating farmers for maintaining cocoa price of 7,600 per ton. That's about 475 per the small bag, if you know that particular bag. He says that that is most magnanimous thing to do under the circumstances. He explained the decision compelled government to borrow about 2 billion cedis to make up for the losses to cushion farmers so far since NPP assumed office. So that's the story, simply suggesting that the NDC's press conference 2 days ago in Goso about government cheating farmers isn't the case. Richard, certainly let me start with you. What farmers receiving is what they should get? Is that it?
Thank you very much, and I want to say good morning once again to your good self, my brother Tete Chai, and also the good people of Ghana, particularly His Excellency, the President and the Vice and the team. I find it very strange the sort of deduction the NDC continues to make on national issues and matters of this importance. It does appear that the desire of the NDC is to just throw dust in the eyes of the public and also create the impression that government is not doing what is right to meet the expectations of the good people of this country, particularly the cocoa farmers in this regard. I know for a fact that over the period, the sort of effort government has put in making sure that we move the tonnage from around 700,000 to the current position, which is a little less, over a million metric tons, has been something that government did in making sure that cocoa farmers will rake in more in terms of return from acreage of land that they cultivate over the period. There have been a lot of practices that this government has employed, i.e. hand pollination, making sure that farmers this time around will get fertilizers, not in any nomenclature that suggests that there's free fertilizer. However, the fertilizers were not at the market for farmers to even get. They were going out there to buy it at the market rate. This time around, we are saying that we don't want to deceive them like NEC did, but we are giving them at a subsidy, which the farmers are happy because they have access to them and they get them. There's one thing that we need to understand and appreciate, that as we stand now, the price of cocoa in Ghana is 100 cedis more than what La Côte d'Ivoire is buying from their farmers.
Despite the fact that they increased theirs.
Yes, because they haven't gotten to where we are. Realize that there's a desire by His Excellency the President to make sure that La Côte d'Ivoire and Ghana team up in helping determine the world pricing of cocoa. Over the period, we know that the two countries produce in excess of 65 to 70% of the world cocoa beans. So it stands to reason if these two cocoa producing countries can come together and be able to speak and come up with modalities that would help us to sort of suggest what ought to be the world market price. It will be very helpful. We know what has been happening in the world market. There hasn't been any increase that suggests that there ought to be a quantum leap in what cocoa farmers are supposed to take. What government has done beyond even these other activities, that is making sure that somebody who was getting possibly 20 bags on an acre is currently getting in excess of 35 and all that, as a result of government innovation, the free mass spraying and other things that President Kufuor introduced, which is being continued by this government, His Excellency the President and Adam Kufuor. Government has equally put in place a stronger and more robust system that would provide to cocoa farmers extension officers who will help them in the various activities and helping them getting rid of swollen shoot diseases and other diseases that affect cocoa production. So what we've done over the period is something that we do believe that cocoa farmers appreciate. The suggestion of the NDC of some figures and government roping them is neither here nor there.
They claim that the 2,000 plus ton on the world market suggests that government is raking in so much, and that could have gone to farmers.
And that's not true. I mean, ask yourself, if the NDC, from what they sit, where they sit and what they are saying, and the figures they are putting across, the same figures we are witnessing now was what they witnessed during the 2015-2016 crop year. But what was the cocoa prices, or how much were they buying from the farmers? a little about 400 Ghana cedis. Now we are seeing 475 Ghana cedis being bought by this government per bag. We know that at every given time, the government's effort is to try and make sure that we strengthen the sector. I mean, all the things that we are doing, from making sure that we strengthen the cocoa processing plant, getting other companies to come in to set up a chocolate producing plant. Last, about a couple of days ago, we heard from Alibaba and his desire to provide a platform for Ghana to market its chocolate on their networks and systems. It tells you the kind of coordinated effort and the conscious effort being done by this government and the cocoa board in particular, and the Ministry of Trade and Industry and the Ministry of Agri, to make sure that as a country we get the best out of the cocoa. So anybody who comes out with figures and concord figures to portray or to give the impression that government is robbing cocoa farmers or duping cocoa farmers, that is neither here nor there. Remember, in time past, cocoa farmers were only benefiting from cocoa scholarship. But what we realized was that even that cocoa scholarship that ought to benefit cocoa farmers. For instance, back at University of Ghana, there was a mate of mine whose father was a military officer and the mother was a civil servant. The grandparents had nothing to do with cocoa. They were basically no closer to even anything cocoa. However, this person went through secondary school with cocoa scholarship. It tells you that something was not right. Today, a government comes and says, you know, for us to breed all these guys, to satisfy the good people of this country, cocoa farmers in particular, I'm introducing a policy like free education. Now, the quantum of amount or the school fees that our fathers and the sister farmers will be contributing into their wards education, all these things are being bought by government. Okay. Government has introduced other policies that would assist and help them. Now, we are even looking at pension schemes for cocoa farmers. We are looking at all manner of activities that will help the cocoa farmer. So for us as a government, we are not going to be rude. We will listen to any concern that be expressed. But anything that suggests propaganda, that seeks to sort of create the impression that something untoward is being done, when the individual who is speaking, when he was given opportunity, could not even match the price you are giving now, it baffles any of us, because the world market hasn't changed anything.
Okay. I'm grateful, Richard. So that's it. The NDC's argument is that what government is receiving on the world market is such the government could at least have topped up what the farmer is receiving at the moment. And he says that isn't the case.
Right. First of all, let me say good morning to your viewers. And let me say good morning to His Excellency the President. The fight against corruption, Mr. President, I believe that fight is being lost. And before I submit to your issues, I just want to draw the attention of the President. This morning, he bypassed me, and I know he's in the office. The fight against corruption is being lost. And
what's the basis of this allegation? Allow me. No, I thought that we were discussing. I'm
going to yes.
Now setting up
that is my initial.
I mean, if we are granted the opportunity to come and set up our own stories and.
Okay,
that's how the NDC operates. They throw things in the air and invite people to the world of absurdity. The issues are cocoa matters. And here you are busily combing around and soliciting for ideas that has not begged for consideration.
Are you the
deal with the issues? No, deal with the issues. The issues are that there are cocoa matters where people have gone to lie, and you've been questioned on that. I mean, you do not have opinion on that. Say same, so that we can move on to other topics. For you to now digress and start inviting other topics that is not on the table for discussion, it begs the question.
Okay, Honorable Tatisha, please go.
Thank you very much. I believe the President has listened, and he has heard what I wanted to say. Right. Why has the NDC raised matters concerning cocoa in this country? Over the years, cocoa production and revenues from cocoa has been the backbone of the country when it comes to revenue generation. It is only about a year ago or two that our oil production is now becoming a strong factor when we talk of revenues that we get out of our traditional exports. Cocoa, over the years, have supported this economy. And so therefore, any government that is in office, one of the areas that you need to critically look at is the farmers who produce our cocoa, the issues of marketing, and so on and so forth. The MPP has been in opposition for some time. On a yearly basis, they critique our policies on cocoa. And that is fair. Today, the MPP is in government. And as opposition, it is our duty to critique the MPP administration if things are not being done right. And I believe that criticism, communicators of the MPP should understand. Right. What is the NDC criticizing? We are in an economy where everybody is being bombarded with hardships. Things are becoming very difficult for the average Ghanaian. And we all know that farmers, if you look at the poverty line, most of our farmers, despite they providing the food for us, are in that bracket. And so therefore, when the economy becomes very, very difficult, which His Excellency the President has acknowledged that times are hard, it means therefore that our farmers are hit harder. And Mr. President is aware, and you are here saying that is not it. The farmers of this country are going through a lot of hardships. Day in and day out, we are pleading with our farmers not to stop the production of cocoa. Because most of our farmers or areas that are cocoa growing areas are now resorting to rubber plantation. And we all know the benefits of cocoa. In fact, I'm one of the consumers of cocoa products in this country. I eat chocolate a lot. And we all know the health benefits of cocoa. If you look at those who produce cocoa, most of them are the aged. Why is it that the youth of today are not going into cocoa farming? It's because of the fact that the policies that governments put in place are not attractive enough for people to continuously cultivate cocoa farms. Look at the benefits that cocoa can bring to us in terms of the marketing aspect, in terms of processing, the jobs that it can create for the good people of this country. But because of bad policies that government is bringing out, cocoa farmers are resorting to other means to sustain their livelihood. And that is exactly what the NDC has come out to say. That look, you want to price cocoa. We all know the exchange rate of this country. Unless my good friend can tell me that the exchange rate, the cedi to the dollar now, is 4.5. Right? Is it 4.5? Oh, please. My brother. The dollar rate to the cedi, is it 4.5? Even at the interbank level, is it 4.5? So what mischief is the NDC playing? We are using... Hold on.
What's the
Hold on.
of that?
Hold on.
You allow him.
We'll
There was a question. I thought initially it was a rhetorical question, but subsequently I realized that you were still being persistent.
Allow him to
my
go
face.
so
I thought you wanted answers for
okay.
that. But if,
please go on.
Right. We all know that the exchange rate of the cedi to the dollar. It's not 4.5. And that is what the government has used in maintaining the prices for the cocoa farmers. And that is why they are currently maintaining the last year's
475
price. Okay? So if the NDC, a very responsible minority party, the largest opposition party for that matter, is raising the concerns of cocoa farmers, what is the mischief?
You see, the mischief lies in the fact
Please.
that when
Please.
you were in power,
Please.
the cocoa price per metric ton was $2,900.
That
Then,
was, Richard,
I'm trying to show him the mischief.
2 years ago.
No, I'm trying to show him now.
Richard.
What is the metric ton of cocoa now?
It's about 2,200.
2,200. So it means that it has dropped considerably. Though it has dropped, we are paying more than what you paid when you were in power. So it gives you an impression that what you are doing is unfair, and you are just not telling the people the truth.
Richard, when the NDC was leaving office,
my brother,
the price we were paying today was the same price. So
no. When they were paying, when they were leaving office, please. Please. When 2016, when they left office, they paid 425 Ghana cedis.
No.
Please, I have the data.
Prices have been same for the past 2 years.
No.
Are you aware?
That's from 2017 and 2018 is what you are talking about.
But are you aware
when this
prices
government
have been
is
same
being
for 2 years?
Yes. And I'm telling you that, see, 2016, right?
No, Richard, let's settle this. Are you aware that the prices that we are paying this year, these same price we paid last year and last 2 years?
No. This year and last year. It's not last 2 years. I hope you're getting me. What you are going to pay this year is 475. 475.
Okay. What was the same thing last year?
What was the dollar?
2017. We paid the same thing.
Right. And 2017, we paid the same thing. But what I'm telling you is
so
that...
the NDC left office with the same price we were paying.
No. Right, listen to this. Cocoa prices are set up around this time every year. 2017, around this time, NDC was not in power. It was the NPP.
Great. I'm
saying that 2016, the price that NDC set and sold cocoa and bought cocoa from cocoa farmers was 425.
So you're saying that the 2016-2017 price is different from the 2017-2018 price. Is that what you're saying?
2017 price is the same as 2018 price.
No.
Okay. But 2016,
let's move on.
It's normally 16, 17.
So we have 16, 17,
and 17, 18.
18,
but that's a crop season. But I'm trying for you to appreciate the point that I'm making. The price that was set in October 2016 was 425 Ghana cedis per metric ton. That was 2015-2016 crop year.
Progress. Let me continue.
That's during the NDC time. One thing I want you to understand is around that time, what price was 2,000.
Even that this government increased the price of cocoa last year.
Yes.
I see.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I guess my
but that's the fact.
Do you remember last year?
So
the price was maintained.
But are you aware we maintained the price last year?
So 2017, the price was increased from the 2016 crop year price.
No, let's move on.
I was here. I have the data here. But I have the data here.
Okay, that's okay. That's okay.
Just Google it.
Let me see it from Let me continue.
Okay. That's okay. Honorable Teacher, please go on. Let's make progress.
Thank you very much. Right. We were giving farmers free fertilizer, okay, to enhance production. And these were resources that were taken out of the savings that government made as a result of the sale of the cocoa beans. It went a long way to assist these poor farmers to apply the right...
They were not getting the fertilizer.
Oh, my brother. The right techniques, the right approach to ensure that they had good yield. You remember, before we left office, look at the number of the total quantity of tonnage that we were able to produce. Today, as I talk to you, per your own Ministry of Agric, Cocoa Board, the yield for last year dropped. Yes.
It didn't drop.
Oh, please research
the yield has increased from 7,000 metric tons.
What was 7,000?
7,000 metric tons to 9,000 metric tons. So I'm reading from Cocoa Board documentations. You are not reading from anything. You are just guessing. I'm reading.
Let's move on.
Yeah, just throwing the figures about.
Right.
What has increased is almost 1 million metric tons.
Honorable Chair, please wrap up.
Let's move to other issues. I'm reading from the facts. You're not reading anything. I'm just citing what the Cocoa Board reports.
Right. Our yield reduced.
That's increased. I even heard you people talk in your press conference that you made that happen. Today we are sitting here saying that
let's move on. I want us to touch on several other issues.
You see, and the most annoying part of the whole issue that the minority raised was that Cocoa Board is claiming that it has not gotten the resources to adequately support the farmers. Okay? But they were using an amount of 1 million Ghana cedis to renovate the Greek minister's residence. And as I talk to you now, they denied. But little did they know that Cocoa Board met the committee in charge of Agric of Parliament. And that was where those things were revealed. Okay? Now the Greek minister is being the minority are going to summon the Greek minister to Parliament so that those issues that you are currently denying, they come to Parliament to deny.
So you see,
so for the NDC, we've raised very critical questions. What the farmers are thinking of the current administration in terms of the way they are handling cocoa production in this country. The farmers are not happy. Okay. And as a responsible minority, we are the ones, we are their mouthpiece.
Okay.
We have to echo it for government to know what is happening.
Okay. I'm grateful. But let's take a quick break. But before that, let's touch on this one. This one, I think we can wrap it up in just 2 minutes. The Herald is suggesting that trainee nurses' allowances in 6 months arrears. And Richard, is there a reason why their amount is in the allowances is in 6 months arrears?
I don't think that. I know that there are some a month or two that hasn't been paid yet. But
not 6 months. Okay.
And secondly, one thing that I want us to appreciate is that, I mean, we are moving from a period where this whole thing was crime entirely, and government has started making payment to same. So we are just pleading to our sisters within the that enclave to just trust this government that you make do with this promise. Because the point is that, I mean, somebody tell you that half a loaf is better than none. I mean, a period where somebody thought that it was not needful, and they scrap it entirely. Now we have a government that says that I'm paying both nursing and teacher training allowance and has restored that, and government is making do with that. Remember that because of the arrangement that's releasing government money from government coffers go through to the government system and all that.
So it's the process.
So sometimes the process
it's not that
the money is not available to be paid, but it has to go through a lengthy process to validate. So at least at the end, you know that the money is going to the right source, and he knows as a member of parliament, he knows the process. A former member of parliament, he knows the process that even his money goes to before even common fund is received.
Okay, so that's it. He says it's not 6 months has been reported by Herald, and that it's just about 1 or 2 months.
He's not being truthful. And you see, hold on, as government or communicators, no, please, the position that you hold is very key.
The Herald NDC newspaper.
No, please.
NDC newspaper trying to come on. The Herald is NDC newspaper.
No,
overblowing issues
and
tracing issues.
Richard Asante, we are reviewing newspapers. We're not reviewing NDC.
But Herald is tilted to the NDC. You know it, right? Me and you know that Herald is NDC.
So let's.
You get all the headlines. You know that this NDC headline. We all know Herald.
Right. I'm stating this fact here that he's not being truthful. Look, when the MPP came into office, okay, at the time they restored. Let me give him the chronology of the whole event. when they restored these nursing training allowances, they paid September, October, up to December. That was last year. Okay? Now this year, they paid up to April. Okay? Now, from May up to today, and that constitutes the 6 months. That constitutes the 6 months. You have not paid. As I talk to you, the training nurses are planning to go on demonstration. And you are sitting here saying that you owe them 2 months.
You ought not to have a voice on this matter.
When you yourself
did not find
Richard
this relevant.
If you don't have, you said you don't have
access to the issues. I never said that.
Right, so you said it's either 1 or 2 months.
Please,
that's why I want us to.
I never said I do not have any information on this matter.
You said 2 months.
I've told you that it's not 6 months. Okay. And I've given you reasons why this things sometimes don't happen.
Just yesterday.
So if you sit here to say that,
just yesterday.
If you read the story, I mean that is unfair.
Just yesterday,
and I don't want you to.
If you care to know, just yesterday, these same nurses were on.
I'm saying that you and your administration even took the entire thing off and cancelled it. Okay. Somebody restored it and it's paying you and a month or two.
And you can pay. I'll come back from the break and we'll have more of that. Stay with us. We're coming back in a moment. All right, let's get back to a conversation this morning. My guests are still here. Richard Asante-Yeboah, government spokesperson on infrastructure, the secretary of the NDC Greater Accra Region, Honorable Theophilus Otuchai, are here. Now, let's touch on this one. Okay, we wrap up on the training nurses quickly.
Yeah.
We don't have a lot of time. Yes.
Right.
Just 1 minute.
Running up again.
As a result of this,
Richard, allow him. Let's.
Are you going to give me that moment?
As a result of the restoration of the allowances, there has been a cut in the number of trainees. It is a fact. Two, there has been an increase in the fees that they pay. So at the end of the day, even the 400 Ghana cedis that you intended to give to the nurses for 6 months. If you don't give that particular trainee nurse for 6 months, where do you want him to go and get resources to feed? Look,
you want to take report from
research before you come here.
Don't tell me that's quite unfortunate. No. And I will not take this comment from you, please. Okay, please, I will not take this comment from you.
Okay, let's move on.
I will never take this comment from you.
I've heard you.
Please, I will not sit here and allow a paper that will come and throw and do propaganda here and use supporting it to suffice. Okay. I'll not allow that to happen. It's never true.
Gentlemen, let's move on.
Nurses haven't been paid for 6 months. But I know it's not true.
Really?
Okay. But your government took it off, cancelled it. You
said have a better alternative.
What was the better alternative?
You told us that
you did nothing about it. You only rushed back to try and see whether you can do something.
Let's wrap up our conversation this morning. The Auditor General has been talking about asset declaration. He says it's a very difficult thing to monitor. But before that, let's touch on this one. GRA is now setting up task forces at various manufacturing companies. Now, the Association of Ghana Industries on BNFT this morning is suggesting to GRA that move your task force, and between now and December, let us talk about this tax stamp, because the machines are being fixed. We are test running them, and we'll be able to see this tax stamp through. But if you stop our product from getting onto the market, you might cause job losses. Richard, should GRA listen to the Association of Ghana Industries? They're not saying they won't do. They're saying that.
I want to understand where job losses will come in.
Okay, so
if government says that pay your due to government to support,
let me explain.
The development.
Let me explain to you. GRA has now set up task forces at the various manufacturing companies. So products are not moving onto market until the tax stamps are fixed. AGI is saying that all their members have agreed. Some of them have their machines now being fixed. Some of the machines to fix the stamps are being fixed. Some are being test run. So between now and December, allow us to gradually go through and fix the stamps. Don't stop the product from going to the market. If you stop the product from going to the market, we cannot, but also lay the workers
right.
who produce
You know what I know is that this process started some time ago.
Yes, it did.
And there have been grace period for all these things to be done, so that the AGI and its membership will be empowered, and also they will get access to these machines that could help them put those tax stamps on their product. In all this, what we are trying to do as a country is to do what we call revenue assurance, to guarantee the sort of resources that will go into supporting government. I think government had done a lot of education, had a lot of consultation. GRA and Ministry of Finance in particular had a lot of discussion with AGI and other stakeholders in this regard. I know that there have been a lot of resistance initially, and now some of them have come to the table to say, okay, we are ready for it. But they are making other demands. I think that whatever be the case, they can still go and sit at the table with the officials and have a very fruitful discussion. Because at every point in time, there's one thing all of us ought to understand, that we can only develop our country with taxes, with the mineral resources that we do have, and other contributions that we can also make available to the nation. So anytime we try to frustrate government, anytime we try to not to cooperate with the revenue authorities in terms of making our contribution, what we are doing is that it doesn't help in the development of our country. Because if we see any difficulty on the road, potholes, we'll talk about government. If you are not getting water, we'll talk about government. If you are not getting electricity, hospitals, schools, and all these things still boils down to the revenue that we are supposed to get. Remember that over the period, government took in measures to either completely scrap or reduce some taxes. About 14 different taxes were touched by this government, trying to make sure that we bring a level of relief to the industry. Government has gone ahead to make sure that electricity is reduced, 17.5 for household. Business communities, that includes AGI, 30% reduction. We are seeing 20% for other companies and 10% for the mines. It gives you an impression that government is working around the clock to make sure that cost of production for AGI and other stakeholders goes down. Beyond that, we are seeing a massive desire by government in terms of which doings to make sure the interest rates will go down. Now we know interest rates have started tumbling down.
Wrap up for me. Let me get
anticipate that to go down further. Government is supporting AGI even in the one dish, one factory and other endeavors by assisting them access facility. There's about 2 billion from the Chinese to stabilize their businesses and support their business.
So the point is that
I know AGI have been grateful over the period, but if there are concerns, I will urge them to go and sit down with the authorities.
Let me read the paragraph of the story. It says that AGI is saying that the companies have taken all necessary steps that lead to full compliance, including ordering tax stamp machines. The purchase orders have been shared with government to demonstrate our commitment. Some companies are already conducting test runs of their new applicators on production lines. And this is where the AGI says that allow us to move the product to the market and give us the time to fix.
But you see, 1 minute before my brother comes, I beg a minute. You see, already there are companies that are members of the AGI that have procured this tax stamp.
Yes, some have.
And they are pricing their products. See, it would be unfair, market-wise, for a policy of government that everybody should put this tax stamp on their product. And some are following that, and others say, okay, you know what, give us more time. Right. So you see that the pricing, it is not even fair for market.
Okay, that's okay.
Sorry about that. You can go ahead.
Any policy that you bring about, what is most needed is its implementation plan. And if you want the stakeholders to be with you in its implementation, it is a gradual process. You don't just bring a policy and then bang. You say, yes, we are starting.
Have they not been given enough time?
That's not what happened.
Oh, please.
Have they not been given enough time?
Enough latitude and grace period.
Please. Why? If these industries, through the AGI, have been given much time or to implement this policy gradually, I don't think AGI will be coming out with these statements. Please. They wouldn't have come out.
They're asking till December before full compliance. That's what they're asking.
All what they are saying is that we are complying. But this is a new policy, okay? It will take time before everybody will come on board. So the most adequate or wisest thing to do is to allow a time frame. And they've told government, look, give us up to December. By December, all those things will be completed. Why not? Look, today, if you go to lock premises of industries, it's job losses. That is what is bringing the job losses. Because if you say they shouldn't operate, you've locked their premises.
They should not send the product to the market.
Is it not the same thing? If the products don't go out, how do you produce? Oh, please.
You have nobody's preventing you from producing.
No, but they can't send. GRA is stopping them from moving the product onto the market.
Relevant task
when you produce, where do you put the product?
Do follow the relevant task laws.
Richard, allow him to wrap up.
Richard,
allow him to wrap up.
In production,
please go ahead.
When you produce, you need to store. Okay? Before you distribute. Now, when your storage facility is full and you cannot produce new products,
you certainly cannot produce.
So what will happen to your workers? They'll be redundant. Are you going to pay them?
I spoke to GRA, the Chief Revenue Officer, Ms. Harper, who said that they have given them enough time. So I'm wondering how enough is the time given them?
If it is enough, this is the association.
You don't think the manufacturers are just trying to buy time?
But it makes sense, okay, for you to give them time to establish themselves very well and then get the revenues that you need to sustain your budget, than shutting them down, creating unemployment, and not getting the revenues. Which one is the way forward? And then on the Auditor General, the issue about asset declaration and how difficult and expensive it is to monitor. Look, this is one Auditor General that we all need to applaud. Wants to ensure that the right things are done in this country. Over the years, we've all complained that, look, assets that are being deposited, declarations that are being deposited at the Auditor General's department, with the content not being revealed, then what is the essence?
That's the law.
That is why these things are being brought out, so that that law can be looked at.
Okay.
And that is why this morning, I greeted His Excellency, the President, by saying that the fight against corruption, he is losing that fight. And for me,
because of what?
Because
I'm grateful. We'll have to wrap up the conversation. It's a former MP, Ablekuma Central, and Secretary of the NDC, Greater Accra Region. Richard Asante-Abua is government spokesperson on infrastructure. Stay with us. It's a Friday show. There is more coming up.
On Hard Bay, we are asking a very interesting question. Two people live in a house and they are married. But the question is, who should pay the rent? Joining me to help me discuss this issue is Sedem Ofori. He is a journalist and head of news here at Media General. Good morning, Sedem.
Good morning to you.
So the big question, you are married. Should the man shoulder the burden of paying the rent? Should the female, or both? What's your view?
Why should it matter? I mean, this is essentially money-making decision. Okay. It should be the collective decision of the partners. Okay. That's what marriage is about. I understood marriage to mean, and still believe marriage is, a union of two people. That when the two come together, they become one. And I believe the vows that you take when you get married take you through a number of things that have sort of give you an insight into the sort of challenges that you may encounter and how you commit yourselves to getting over those challenges. For better or for worse, richer or poorer, right? And they take you through all those verses. So essentially, this is an economic decision that is being made in the home. I would say that both the man and the woman should find an agreeable way of cooperating to pay the rent. Maybe you may be earning more as a woman over the man. So it may be fair that you chip in a little more than the other partner. In most homes, we are conditioned as men to think that it is our responsibility. These are artificial social conditioning that make us feel that we are entitled to certain responsibilities, which also should come with certain privileges. It's a dangerous way of thinking, because that's the same mentality that gets men to think that the woman's designation is in the kitchen and the woman in the bed. But here I am on a show, the nation's biggest morning show, and I'm being hosted by a woman. The producer of your show, the director of your show, Babina Walker, it's a woman. I work in a company that is CEO'd by a woman. Times have changed. And I think that in relationships where, in money-making decisions, in relationships as serious as marriage, there shouldn't be the question as to who should pay, who has the means to pay. And if they are at par, I would suggest that they will both find ways of doing it. And this is happening in many homes across the country. Do you know how many women are paying the rent?
You put a hold on that. Let's listen to this video, and I will come back to discuss it further. Let's watch.
And I've been married for 2 years now. During the first year of our marriage, my husband did ask me to pay the rent. And since I've had a lucrative business since I was a teenager, I didn't find it as a problem. I did. And during our second year of marriage, he's still asking me to pay the rent. And I want to find out if it's the right thing to do. Should I go ahead and pay the rent?
But that was a dicey one, because she is saying the man asked her to pay, and she did. And now he's asking in the second year for her to pay again.
What I don't know is why he's asking her to pay. It could be that he's unemployed. It could be that he has no means of earning income. Why is he asking you to pay?
But again, wouldn't that be a worry? Because before you marry, the idea is you should be prepared for all these things. You should have put contingency plans to make sure that you're catering for the family. And obviously, as we all know, the men are the heads of the home. And so you know, we see you in a role where you're supposed to take responsibility of most of these things. So what exactly will be your view on that?
Preparing for marriage is an obligation on both partners, not just the man.
Okay.
You, the man, and the woman should prepare for marriage. And let's face it, you're not God. You could get married today. I heard a story of someone who was right after his wedding, on the way to a reception, died. This thing happened, I think, just sometime last week. They do happen. You could fall sick. You could become incapacitated. And you may not have any strong insurance policies to, subvent your living until such a time that, you recover. But the moment you agree, the two of you agree to go into a marriage, you've taken upon yourselves responsibilities that go beyond just childbearing, attending social functions together. There's a fact. So being prepared is a job for both the man and the woman. But as I said earlier, we as men are conditioned to think that it is our responsibility to provide housing, to protect the family. These are traditional rules that serve a certain purpose in times past. So back in the day, it was thought that chop money, should come from the man. You don't give chop money. School fees must be paid by the man. There were certain traditional rules that were assigned to us. We're not even allowed to cry. If you cried as a man, to be seen as a problem. You're not to play with the girls, and all those things. But times have changed, and women economically are getting at par with men. Women are making more money increasingly than men. Women are heading major global enterprises, from the Yahoos, etc. They are there. So times have changed. Women have access to equal education opportunities, well, at some level, equal education opportunity. Those things which were not available to them sometimes past now are. So chances are that she may be complaining about my husband asking me to pay the rent. What I would have wished to know from her is your husband working? Is he earning income? If he isn't, I think it stands to reason that if you are in a position to provide, you should be able to do so.
But Adam, Saddam, this thing seems to really bring issues in families, because women naturally tend to give more if they have it. Naturally, women will release whatever they have just to make sure the home is catered for. But some men, you can't, maybe there's in this situation, even if the man was earning the same, the man may just take it as an opportunity to share responsibility, because my wife can pay the rent.
There's no justification. You can't use gender to justify unfair treatment. Of course, if I'm earning more, or I'm earning as much as you are, and we owe an obligation to pay the rent together, we should. It could be, the thing about relationships is that it's quite subjective. It's not just rent you are paying. There are utilities to be paid for, the water, electricity, phone, etc. to be paid for. There are school fees to be paid for, clothing for the children of the family to be provided, transportation, who's buying the fuel, who's buying the car, who's paying the school fees of the children, who's taking us out for leisure, etc. There are other expenses that come with those relationships. Chances are he may be responsible for those. He may be taking those, which if we were to quantify, may by far exceed the amount of money you're looking for to pay the rent. So it's a bit dicey. I would have wished to hear more from her about the nature of her relationship, to be able to see whether this call on her husband to be the one to pay the rent is even fair at all. But these days, shouldn't matter. You guys made a decision to be together. Even from those places where we pick these traditional notions of what the woman should do and what the man should do. Bible, for example, and it's an indictment of the Bible, but where we pick some of these definitions from, you find in those contexts that even the definition of a virtuous woman is one who supplies to her husband and makes him proud.
Supplies food.
Well,
That's
it
what
didn't
we
say
are
food.
made. Yes, but that's what we're made to always put it in a context. That is, you know, it has to be
It has to be
the
food.
physicals. Yes, the food, the lighter things, not rent.
And then when you have
In the virtual Proverbs 31 didn't mention rent too. It didn't mention house.
it doesn't have to talk about rent or housing. It doesn't have to. You should also check Ephesians 5. But you find in there that
But you know,
consistently.
my problem is it just makes it look like sometimes we take the Bible out of context just to make us more comfortable. Don't you agree with that?
So you say that the male's traditional rule, the man expects to be. I've not even seen in the Bible where it says that the man is the head of the house. The man is the head of the woman. That's what they say, and Christ is the head of the family, right? And the church. So it follows in that order. Let's not usurp more powers that we really have as men. But the point here is this: that if you keep playing this gender card, that I am a woman, I shouldn't be the one to pay for this, I shouldn't be the one to provide this, and that you even question the masculinity of the man, that what sort of man are you? That you're not providing even the essential, you're not footing this bill. You're putting yourself in the position where he also feels that, well, if I am to assume those gender rules, then you should also play the traditional rules that we used to have in the past. And so you shouldn't blame someone like Buhari when his own wife, the first lady of the country, criticized him and said, look, this is not how you should be treating certain people. And he says that, look, go to the kitchen and cook me some dinner. Patriarchy. Raw, you know. And so we have women who have a tendency to say that, look, we are in an equal time. These are the modern times. I don't belong to the kitchen. I cook. I change diapers. People get celebrated on, for doing that on social media. We've been doing that since, you know. We do these roles. It's commonsensical. As I speak, my wife is a nurse. She isn't at work. And I've had to prepare the children for school. It happens in many homes. It is only when we borrow some of this feminist symbols, some of these Western notions of what the role of a man and a woman should be, and begin to think that we should negotiate such rules, that we encounter these problems. I was really hoping that Lutra to be here, and I hope he comes.
Very well. So we've got a caller coming through, and he's going to ask a question, and then we'll answer. We'll provide some answers if we can. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
You're on Newday. You can talk. Ask your question, please.
Good morning. This is Abdul Usman calling from Nima.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to say something on your program.
Please do.
Okay. Please, you see, when you come to we Muslims, everything has to depend on the man because you are the owner of everything.
Okay.
Whatever the woman needs in the house, rent, health, school fees, whatever, when you go to Quran, you, the man, have to provide everything.
Okay.
So I think the man have to do everything.
Okay.
In short.
Very well. And that's what the Quran says.
To support you, that one there is no problem.
Okay. So the one will support what the man is doing.
Yes.
Okay. Very well. Thank you for your contribution there, and have a good day. So Saddam, like he's saying, from his religion, it allows him to understand that the man is the, his primary responsibility to pay for rent. But if the woman can support, why not? But in that situation, that's where what you talk about, where it seems as if we've borrowed Western culture, infiltrated it.
Yes.
Because interestingly, in the West, rather, they share it. I mean, I think it's pretty much a common responsibility. There's no hard and fast rule over who does what.
There's a report, given that we are journalists, I draw reports a lot, but there's a report that shows that more and more men who are earning less by way of income than their men are becoming house husbands.
Right.
So they are staying home to take care of the children, while there are women who earn more. I mean, if you were to be married to the CEO of Yahoo, who's a woman who's earning 7-digit figures, what should I be doing at TV3? Okay, so they provide.
Okay.
And it stands to reason. It's commonsensical, really. Whatever religion you ascribe to, whatever cultural impositions you want to place on yourself and live by, that is your choice.
Right.
That is entirely your choice. But if we are to place this within a secular context, that which applies to all of us, I think that the institution of marriage is such a serious one that unless there's a compromise, okay, unless there's a compromise between the partners that, look, it is not realistic that me as a Muslim man with 4 wives, maybe at the time I was marrying you, I had the means. Now I don't find myself in a position to be able to provide. And these women are rich and have money. Why should you still be evoking religious, rules on me to play that role? Isn't it supposed to be understanding? I am not an authority on Islamic studies. I have a lot to learn. But I think that some things, we don't really need to argue them with religion, because the commonsensical approach to these issues are staggering. They are staring you in the face at the realities of the time. So the man is sick, he's broken down in hospital, he can't work.
But he's still
you want to quote the Quran or the Bible?
It won't work. Anyway, Sahanun is joining us from Wa. Good morning. Hello, good morning, Sahanun. Hello, good morning, Sahanun. Can you hear me?
I'm fine.
Yes.
How are you?
Doing very well. Thank you for joining us on Hard Day here on Newday.
I'm glad.
Your question this morning.
I agree with your last caller.
Okay.
I'm also a Muslim.
Okay.
Because our prophet is just the best example of this. Prophet Muhammad.
Okay.
He got married to a woman that was older than him and very rich than him. But they managed, and at least they did everything right, and there weren't any problems. So no matter where the funds is coming from, it's just about the love.
Right. And so
yes.
I take it from your view that it's not so much as the man alone shouldering the responsibility, it could be a shared thing. Hello, Sahanun, can you hear me?
Come again, please.
I take it from your submission that you're of the view that it doesn't necessarily have to be the man alone paying the rent. It can be a shared responsibility.
Yes, Liz.
Very well. Thank you so much for joining us from Y. Have a good day.
Same to you.
So he shares in your view. He is also Muslim, but he's saying he agrees.
Yes, and
that
it's common knowledge that the Prophet married a woman who was, even though more advanced in age, was very wealthy. And I won't be surprised that she contributed in several ways to his cause, to the spread of Islam and his mission. Right. But that aside, as a woman, ask yourself, if you have a man who is not in a position to provide, owing to whatever the circumstance is, and he goes to another woman to seek help, and the woman provides that assistance, what sort of thing does it do to your relationship?
I understand.
You understand what I'm trying to say here? You open yourself up to all kinds of conflicts. Marriage means that you've entered into a decision, a partnership that should provide, that should support each other. It's supplementary, if you will, or complementary.
Right.
So when you are unable to complement each other and take up some of the burden when the other partner is unable to do so, or even share when both of you are able to do so, then I don't think you're ready for marriage.
Very well. But let me keep you in tune. Remember that you can call in this morning to join us as we have this discussion. Make sure you call in and ask whatever questions you have to ask. And I'd like to wish Janelle Enin, she's from Salva Regina School in Kumasi. This is coming from your father, Felix Enin, and also your uncle here at TV3, Bernard. They say happy birthday to you. May God bless you and keep you. But we're still discussing the question of who should pay the rent. Who should pay the rent? And of course, Councillor Lutrot has joined us this morning. Good morning, Councillor.
Morning, dear. How are you?
I'm doing well.
How's your breast doing?
It's doing very well. As you can see, breast cancer awareness month. I hope you've sent your side chicks to go and check.
Your side chick at the moment.
So your wife.
Because once you have checked, it's ticked that one of you have come.
So your wife is your... Anyway, so your view, who should pay the rent?
Thank you very much, and a very good morning. I mean, I was listening to this young man sitting here in such a lazy mentality, speaking like any other vegetable in the system. I mean, if you really honor and respect a woman, you feel shy to live in an apartment that has been paid by a woman.
Why?
Because listen,
marriage is a union.
Please, it's a union, but there is a head in that union. There is a head. You see, that's what's happening in Ghana now. 12 years to come in this country, men will become more useless and vegetable in this country because we are empowering women to even pay for everything. And we think it's okay. Like people in the state, they are not married. You go to America, they are not married. They are sharing rent. They are not married. They are just cohabiting. And in that country, cohabitation is accepted. And that's what I want to bring here. Any woman that your husband will get to a point and say, oh, I don't have what it takes to pay rent, so help me go for loan and come and pay. From where?
Not a loan.
But what?
Use your own salary.
You are not serious. Such a lazy man. You see, look, when your husband loses the job, maximum, feed him first 3 weeks. After 1 month, give him water to drink. Because when man is hungry, he will look for something to do. How on earth can you look at your wife's face and say, pay for rent? And you are living there.
But Sedep made a point. I don't know if you heard that, but he was saying that the fact that you are taking care of rent, a woman will take care of rent, doesn't mean the man has shared responsibility.
Please,
he could be taking care of other things as well.
That is one of the flimsy things I keep hearing. That pay for this so that I can pay for the fees. We're having a project at OUB, so you know my money is always there. I have met more than 90% of men who say their money is going through project, and they are doing project in the laps of and the breast of other women. Men projects. We should live in this war pursuit. Let's live in this small quarters. If you're not ready to provide shelter, why do you mistakenly think of going to get married? That's the thing. That you get a woman and you want the woman to come and pay rent. Are you wicked?
What?
If you as if you own as you're not married, if you own a nice apartment in any of the posh areas, when any man makes a mistake to marry you, make sure you rent the place and make money for your family. Never take him there to go and live there.
Why?
That the man will follow you and go and live with you in your own house. And I mean, as a man, you tell yourself you are the head and you are living in the house of a woman. What makes you the head? Who gives direction in the house?
I don't think you fully understand what.
No, I am not here. I'm not here to understand you. You can say your own.
When you say something about and now we have a society that is empowering women to
take responsibilities of men, and we think it makes sense.
I think it's a very backward. Primitive.
No, I have always been backward, and I've been standing with primitive
mentality. He allowed
mentality.
you to speak. So
no, he didn't allow me. This is a missed call. Your phone can have a missed call if you like. Answer.
Let him at least make a submission.
What can you
I'm not going to argue with you.
I'm not even here to argue with you. Say what you're saying.
You usually get away with that, so I'll make my point.
Say it if you have anything to say.
It's a very, very primitive, backward outlook on a woman's whole existence. That when you empower a woman to take up responsibilities.
As a wife,
you are demeaning her.
Yes.
Hey, listen, marriage is not wedding. Sometimes I think you keep confusing marriage with that occasion. Before you get married, why didn't you find? Even after marriage, you may have been the wealthiest person in this country. Even after marriage, things do happen. I made that point here. So at that point in time, where I have a convalescent husband, I have a husband who is unable to, whatever the reason is, has made bad judgments on his business and things have gone bad. I should serve him water and get him out of. You are conditioning women for divorce.
Is life.
People like you,
and for sake of Christianity, give him water. He will look for job to do.
I'm saying that people such as yourself and these views that you express are so demeaning of women. It belittles the potential of women to run homes, and you do it under the guise of some biblical edict. That what is being the head of the house? What does that mean? Your headship of your woman in your Bible. There's so many instances where it shows that it is to offer leadership. It is to offer, yes, and leadership goes beyond paying
Tell him
rent.
to end.
Leadership even may involve you putting your position in a place where you realize that my woman maybe is better educated than me, more exposed, and if I can support her to do her PhD, to pursue projects, to own businesses, it inures to our union as a marriage. There is nothing about you being the head who should disallow or prevent you from wanting to assist your woman even to earn more than you. But with views like this, you encourage opinion that says that women belong to a certain station of life.
As if finished.
Women should be in the kitchen, mopping the floors. They should be the ones changing the diapers. They should be the one preparing the meal while I go out. And you, for all you know, Lutrot, you may be earning by far less than your wife. She may actually be the one providing the rent, but for the sake of discussions on television,
thank you. As you finish,
you're practical. You're putting women in a position
can
where
you let this boy finish?
You've spoken an awful lot.
I mean, he's just repeating.
But you didn't come early, so I won't even give you the chance. You
have
just a minute
speaking on your behalf. No, I
know
he's speaking on your behalf.
I didn't speak.
You are not showing yourself. So this is why I'm not even let him talk.
He's making salient points. When you finish and you do that, then we'll listen.
What I want you to know is that he's repeating himself.
Marriage,
which he's allowed to do. Let him just finish, and then you have your last.
Listen very carefully. Please, you see, all that saying, you are repeating
marriage
yourself.
is an exercise, an enterprise that starts from the beginning
solemnly,
and
like
ends
you are just a gentleman.
Either in divorce
now listen carefully.
Or in death.
It
is why this reverend, when he's putting unions together, he tells them,
I don't put unions
this
together.
vow you are taking,
I don't put unions together.
or for worse?
No, it's not true.
For richer?
No.
Or for poorer?
No.
What do you understand that to
That
mean?
is a legal statement. It is not a spiritual statement.
Oh,
so keep
here
that
you are
aside.
talking about spiritual. Where in the Bible does it say that the man should
Where
pray?
in the Bible does it say that for richer, for poor, for sickness and
Given
health?
that you
it is
quote
nowhere
that
in the Bible.
in all times. I mean, the union was
in
meant
all
to be
times,
forever.
in all times, it's not meant for marriage. In all times, it's been meant for TV3 business. But let me tell you one of the things.
So when it's difficult, you run away.
You can decide to stay with the people with the TV station when it's difficult. But I want you to know that if you say that by we saying that putting women back to the kitchen, what I'm saying here is that very, very carefully listen. I say most women now are running homes, which is an error and a curse. It's not just an error, but it's a curse. That we are living in a state where women. Oh well, I'll prove to you.
You are the one talking here about it. Prove to God now. Where is that in the Bible?
Hardship is that when God allowed Adam to have the desire for a wife, the first thing that happened was that he was able to make sure that everything was available. Women were created to enjoy the wealth and riches of
which
men.
Tree in the
and
garden
it is not
Adam
anyway, guys, you know, we wish we could continue this discussion. We'll have to do a second part of it, and we'll do that next week. But anyway, guys, we'd like to say thank you. Sedem Ofori is a journalist here, media general, and Councillor Luchot, of course, you know him. He was here with us discussing who should pay rent in marriage. We'll do this next week, continuing this. Stay with us here. We have more for you here on New Day.
Welcome back. Happy birthday to Mabel Akubanasi, and also congratulations to Aurelius Orlando Ni Lante Lamte and all your colleagues, friends being called to the bar today. All of you, congratulations to you, Sami Jemfi and the rest of the crew. Welcome our new batch of lawyers. But I told you about the pack of talent, the man who's been missed more than everybody else, the man who brought you all the danceable tunes, the man who knows how to sing to rhythm and beats and everything else, and his words string together beautifully. I'm talking about none other than Okomfo Kwade himself. Chief, welcome, bro. Everything cool?
Everything cool.
Good to see you.
It's good to see you. Yeah?
How's it going?
It's so great. You know, for a while, the absence, and then, you know, it's good to be back.
Right.
You know, that's all I can
How does
say.
it feel to be back?
Well, the one thing about Kwade is, you know, it has been, for all this absence, it has been the old songs, the Joy and Mere or Bano, you know, there should be something that's, Charlie, so new, you know, something you haven't heard of.
Right.
You know, so that's what it has been about the absence.
So you're bringing us new stuff?
Yeah, I've got new stuff, packages coming up. Yeah.
In your absence, there have been kings or people touting themselves as kings. We know you are a king. But then, what are you bringing on to change the game?
You know, people say they miss Kwade. You know, why is Kwade so much like kind of missing the system?
Right.
Because he has a message that people always, you know, they want it to be continuous, going on. So me being absent and the rest of the guys being in the system and claiming to be kings and top rappers and men, the message ain't loud yet. Their message is not loud.
Okay.
You know, it's not like kind of, it's not the kind of message that will get the Kotoko and House supporters to stadium.
Right.
You know,
right.
You know, when there is something that people love, people really rush to it.
Right.
You know, so I'll really urge them to package it like, you know, get people curious or get people kind of wanting to hear more of them.
Right.
Because these days the songs have just been one word, just a word can make a whole song.
Words
that is
like,
not a song.
Like what? Words like what?
Oh, yeah, Odome do wo once you know what to Odome do wo nkwan.
The whole song.
That's how it has been.
Right.
But when I'm back in the system, you see the first verse, the difference between the first verse and the second verse, and the third verse, and the chorus.
Okay.
You know, so
the structure,
the way it is, you know, sometimes Kwade tells stories, you know, stories about people in the outskirts of Ghana, like diaspora or kind of Kokode, Kokote, like places you haven't really heard of.
Right.
You know, so when such like such words or lyrics or towns or names comes into the system. Okay. It's like, where is this place?
Where's this place? Okay.
Who is this guy? Who is this? That makes Kwade so fresh every day and again.
What is missing in the current musical landscape that you are coming to feeling? You know, you had an era, with the Lord Kenyas and the, all
Regis
those Regis and everybody else. Those are your contemporaries. So these ones are more like your small brothers and sisters who are now up in the trends. What are you bringing? What fresh thing are you bringing? Because the competition now is running.
You know, now it's like the youth has gone down to the kind of music that gets them like, kind of term, like the street terms movement. Like, let's say, let me take Shatawale for example. The clique, they want to be a clique. That's the new age, the youth, that's what they've really gotten themselves into. But mine is, the kind of story that you sit, you put on every TV station, is that story they want to listen. Because that is just like do an activity. It's an activity going on.
So you don't have like a clique?
No, I don't really. Sometimes I talk about it to them, like, cliques that really understand the message I bring out. But this time around, the songs and the message is like, I don't even know how to put on unless you listen to it.
But your messages, your songs, your rap style is totally different. It's unique. And people say it's very difficult to get, very difficult to copy, very difficult to...
One thing they've forgotten is it's very difficult. At this moment, what Kwade will say is it's very difficult for Kwade to come back again. Why? Because he's already out. It's just you just need to listen to it. That's the whole secret.
How many songs are you bringing back?
Man, I've got like say 14, 15. I don't even know how much it is.
And it's all in the oven.
Yeah, I just got out of the studio. I don't know. That's about last 2 weeks or so. So I'm really back in my old groove.
I see.
Yeah, I'm really.
Tomorrow we're seeing you at the RTP Awards. Before your Euro tour. Tell me, what are we to expect tomorrow from you?
Man, RTP, I was there last 2 years and you saw what happened. It was like, I was even absent by then, but still I came in. But that was the old songs. But this time around, you'll be hearing some, like intros,
you
some
want to share something small?
Yeah, I wish I could.
No, Kwade, me and you will be brothers.
You want to hear something about Kwade, right? Yeah. Let me just pump in this chorus. This chorus you haven't heard before, right? For you, and then you see how the groove is, right? I'm for Moses saying, a may see me call him ye temin canche, a may see ye pentema to mate, a may see me mubum, min sambe to my yo. Tie, a may see me call him ye temin canche, a may see ye pentema to mate, a may see me mubum, min sambe to my yo. Tie. Maye yo, mo bia to me for me she yo, or kwan bia so me nsam pie, na ma bi pe me nsam achia o. Man, that's just some of the.
This is great. This is our black box.
Yeah.
Pick one, and then they will see what answer comes out of it.
Right.
You like the big one?
I'll take the big one and see. Yeah.
So should I read it? Okay, here we go. It says, what will you do with $1 million? If Kwade gets $1 million, what do you do with it?
One thing about Kwade people don't know much is Kwade loves to share, right? I share all over, right? That's all. I love to see people just...
You share the money?
Yeah, I share
to
with...
Who?
Man, who need it? If you need... I don't know what you want to do with it, but... If you feel like, man, you're hungry, you want school fees, you want this, man, I could just go hungry and give it to you. But at the end of the day, I'll be satisfied because I did the best thing.
The new album, when are we to expect it?
Man, it should be on the end of this year, yeah, possible, the ending of this year, because I'm yet to shoot the videos and things like that. So I'm packaging it. So I'll be giving just a teaser. Teasers over there. Yeah, but you'll be hearing the instrumentations and everything, the performance.
Right.
But anyway, we'll be enjoying the old songs just as usual, you know.
Kwade,
this one,
thank you very much. Are you doing collaborations?
I don't know. This time around, I had some collaboration, but not too many. Kwade don't normally get so many.
Who do you collaborate with?
I did a song. I did a song with. I don't know.
Forgotten about it.
No. I did a song with, but I don't think that song is really on my hit list.
Okay.
You know, those on my hit list are just the one people know about.
Kwade, I thank you very much indeed. And so tomorrow we're all meeting at the Accra International Conference Center. It's the RTP Awards is happening, and Kwade is going to be there. Kiddy is going to be there. Kwame Eugene is going to be there. Eddie K will be there as well. If you don't have a ticket here, go grab it. But you know to vote for us at Media General to bring home the awards. It's Friday. We're going to be partying with Kwade. See you on Monday.